All right. Well, coming back from a tough road loss at Ball State, I think always the question of one before we go into that game, is how we were going to handle the road. What even going back further, what did last week's practice week look like? I think from a preparation standpoint, our coaches, our players really had a really good week in preparation. I think the question we had going in, because we had so many guys that had never been on the road, would they handle it? And from a trip standpoint, from pregame to everything I saw, I thought they were definitely ready to play. Obviously, that was a roller coaster game. I think our offense really made some big time improvements. Defensively, if you'd have told me we would have contained their running game and contained their quarterback and not let him beat us getting out of the pocket, I would have felt like we would have really played well. We couldn't get off field on third downs, and give them credit. They had a lot of big plays on third downs where we were in press coverage and the guy gets free and makes some catches, and really thought our special teams were playing well. And then we had two letdowns at the end of the game that I was really disappointed in. This was not characteristic of us, so it was a tough loss, and any loss is tough. But I think our guys are definitely going to learn from it. They know what it looks like now. I don't think we'll be even Florida will be in any worse conditions, and just from an adversity standpoint than what we saw on Saturday. So we've been there. They came back with their heads up after the game yesterday. Just getting us in while they were doing their rehab, and then of course we had a meeting this morning. I'm really pleased with their attitude, and I think really this is it was something they needed to see, and the only way to experience it is to have to go be in it, and hopefully we're going to be the better for it.
Third downs, it seems like you guys would do so well in first and second, and then it'd be 3rd and 9 and maybe a 10 or 11. What can you do different, I guess, going forward on that?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I think if I would have, I think we were so concerned with their running game, and maybe I could have put us in more third and longs in practice. So I always look at myself. Maybe we should have put them in those positions. But when you got press coverage on a receiver, and we did have a hard time getting to their quarterback. Their O-line did good, and he stood in there, and we gave him zone, man, pressure, zone pressure, man pressure, and he stood in there, and they kept, and they caught every ball. So we were draped all over them a bunch of times, and they made catches. I think probably I was shocked by how many third and longs we got them in. But we felt good about the coverage, and give them credit. They made some good plays with people draped all over.
Like your offensive line depth chart's a little different this week. Just looking at Cook, and I know it's only started the game Saturday,
Right.
but what made you kind of make those changes? How do you feel about the way Cook's doing and all that?
Yeah, so Malik had a deep thigh bruise before the game. We didn't know how well he would be. Cook has kind of been like our sixth guy. So he comes in, and then when Malik comes in, he ends up grading the highest of all of them. So we kind of got a good problem to have. We got 6 guys who we know can play, and so we'll play some kind of combination of all 6 of those guys on Saturday.
Spencer Brown had a big day
Right.
Saturday, and I think he's averaging like 8 yards.
Mm-hmm.
What does he bring to your offense?
Well, we knew immediately in the summer, based on what we'd seen, what we saw him in high school, he was a guy that was going to be able to play, and we were trying to get him in the first game. But there's so much other than just running the ball. There's protections, there's blocking in the perimeter, all these things you asked us running back to do, and then, of course, it starts with ball security. Kind of got his feet wet in game 1, but where we really saw him was going against the defense in Alger and camp, and they couldn't hardly tackle him. And I think that was the standard that our guys saw. So it was, okay, how fast can we move this guy along? Did a good job of creating a formation. Our offense coaches did a really good job of creating a new formation that really gets 3 guys in the backfield. And, we're going to change stuff up every week, but I think that was a great way to get him the ball and protect him. And so, his role will just going to increase, but he's still got to work on the blocking and the protection. And, of course, they all got to work on ball security.
When the guys on the sideline see him run over the
Yeah.
defenders and stuff like that, can you just talk about just kind of what that does for the team?
It's exciting. I think that's what people, that's what our guy, a physical running back, and we'd send it out on him, send him run over our own guys in practice. I think for an offensive lineman though, when you're blocking for somebody that also is going to help create his own yards, I think that's exciting. Now all our running backs are doing a good job, but this guy's going to be something else.
were there times during camp where you saw him maybe hit a little freshman wall, or kind of hit a point where he had never really done it? And how did he get through those times if he did?
Yeah, I think he definitely did. I think it's where you're sitting in meetings, and just the focus that requires, and or you're playing on special teams, and I think that's why he was down the depth chart. It was not ability, and we knew what he could do, and obviously everybody's seen the video of him squatting over 600 pounds and all those things. Just I think learning how to be a true running back. And I mean, he was even a linebacker in high school for a lot of the time. So it's not like he's been a running back his whole career. So he's learning the basics of the job. And, this is one game, but it was exciting. And I think obviously you're going to see more of him. Just stay humble and keep working.
Go back real quick to the third downs. When that happens to a defense, how much does that kind of affect just really everything, just the mood and, that type of thing when you have them there but can't get off the field?
Well, I think if you go back and look, whether it was some penalties that gave them some first downs or just not getting off the field, and you're doing, we had 4 busts. We had 4 where we had a guy, where we're going to a different coverage late. So that's mental errors. But, I mean, the big thing is it's disheartening. And we talk about getting off the field and then do such a good job on them in the run game. And we gave up one play that busted, or you'd been looking at about 100 yards. I mean, it would have been a phenomenal day. We go 1 for 14 the first week, and then we go, they get 11 or 12, whatever they did, just sickening, And our defense has a lot of pride, and I knew they were good. I knew they were good. But for us to do such a good job in their running game and then not be able to get off on third downs was – you can tell I'm still frustrated by it. So I think it's going to be a lesson for us, for all of us, just how much harder we got to, we just got to continue to work and play and do all the above.
Special teams, the kickoff return for the touchdown and the fumble, what went wrong for those who watched it?
Well, the kickoff, we had a bad kick, and Nick had a really good day. Kick, field goal, kick well. He kicks a line drive, and we get, 2 guys get double teamed, get sucked in, and our safety doesn't get out and safety out like he's supposed to. It was just a mistake with a bad kick that, just it's hard to get under and cover a ball that's just a line knuckle drive. And every play is a new play. Every play is a new play, and then the fumble was just ball security. I mean, Hayden had a really good day. We work ball security 5 minutes a day, every day, before we talk about it every second. So, got to protect the ball.
How much is stress, and I know that you do, but depth is always the key, especially early on when you're in this return moment of
Right.
football and stuff, and you're trying to build those numbers up. But you discuss these guys, opportunities are key.
Correct.
You got to make plays.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And, I don't, when you start talking about being on the road, what does that look like? Well, I think we handled that well. When you start talking about what is adversity, and 8 or 9 penalties is adversity, and especially at the moments that seem they occurred on Saturday. But that's part of it, and you just gotta be a little bit better. You gotta be better, on the road. You just gotta be better. So there'll be some guys that get an opportunity in special teams today, just due to this kickoff. There's going to be some guys that get a chance, and let's see what they do with it.
How important is it to have another good crowd for this upcoming game?
It's huge. It's huge. I mean, I think we need, and the 12 o'clock kick, is a little different, obviously, than the one we had last week. So we need our crowd back. We need that to be a home field advantage for us. Playing a good team coming in here off their first FBS win, and then of course they had an open date last week, which is scary for us. I mean, when a team, anytime somebody has an open date for you, it scares you, especially this early when you don't have a lot of film on them. But we need our crowd there, and I hope we'll just, get more of what we had in the first game.
When you look at them on film, what
Well, you see an offense that's very option oriented. I mean, you're going to see belly option, trap option, speed sweeps. It's a the Coach Chadwell, who took the place, the head coach that is out, was at Charleston Southern, and ran the option every way you can run it, just out the gun. So defensively we're going to have to do a great job playing responsibility football, and they've got all kind of window dressing and all the things that go with it, play action pass game off of it, and then defensively they're very sound, very solid. I think Coach Matthews, a long-time head coach, is their defense coordinator, and then a really good special teams. And you're talking about one of the top FCS programs in the country that's now an FBS school.
Coach, you've got some guys that affected by this weather event that's taking place. What are you guys doing to help them? Where they can, there's concern for them, but
Sure.
so that they're able to focus on their life and
Sure.
football.
I think, one of the things for us is we talk every morning about our guys. What's going on with the players? I'm asking what's going on with our staff, what's going on with players, who do we need to know about? You got Brian Williams, our linebacker coach, is from Miami, so he's got family affected. They got flooding and power's out, so he's affected by it. We got players there. We had players that were in Texas, with that. So that's the things we talk about is it's football is important, but this is life, and so we want to be there for our guys and let them know we care. I've talked to numerous parents down there, and I think that's the biggest thing because we're their family here, but they got family back home. So I know a lot of our guys are worried about them.
Kevin obviously played a lot for you in 14. He's played a lot here in other seasons too, but it seems like it's almost like he's stepped up another level in his first couple games. Is he playing better now than you've seen him play?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, no doubt. I had high expectations for him. He's very critical of himself, and which is what we talk about, holding the mirror up to ourselves. And he's been a leader for us. He comes to work every day, and he's done that. Heck, he was also one of our best recruiters. That whole senior group helped recruit the guys that are here. And to have a guy that knows what it looks like and really came from a group that really had not won. And so when we came in here and did the things we did in 14, I think that whole group really believed in our process and how we do things. And that's kind of like what we talked about on Saturday. I knew that was a good team. I knew what we were playing against. We knew how hard it was going to be. And there we were right there in it. And then you got these few plays. And that's what it's going to come down to is the few plays. And to have a guy like Tevin that gets that. He doesn't take a play off. He's here studying. He's watching extra film. I think that will rub off on teammates, and that's what we're looking for.
Anything else? All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.